You're watching TVC News. Let's bring you updates on other stories. An activist and a former lecturer at the University of Ibadan, Doyin Odebowale, has urged the federal government to allow states to control their natural resources. Mr. Odebowale, who is the Senior Special Assistant to Ondo State Governor on special duties, spoke at the June 12 Democracy Day lecture held at the International Culture and Event Center in Akure. Ayodeji Murade reports.
It is another June 12th Democracy Day lecture. The lecture was attended by top government officials, activists, civil servants, among others. The guest lecturer, Senior Special Assistant to Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, on special duty, Dr. Doyin Odebowale said there is a disconnect between the government and political leaders. He said it will be difficult for a country as diverse as Nigeria to achieve progress with a unitary system.
The federal government should not fix salaries and wages for public officials serving the states. Let all the states control their resources and pay taxes to the federal government. The national and state assemblies must enact laws which make development plan alterable.
The state deputy governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, emphasized that the nation should shift from revenue allocation to generation.
A preponderance of Nigerians spread across the land is still anxious to see the fulfillment of the promise of democracy.
Always abide by the elections, because we had a very free and fair election with the presidential election of 1993, but which was annulled by the military. So nobody wants that.
The speakers noted that deepening the inclusion of the people in the socio-economic activities of their respective areas will lead to stability in all spheres. Ayodeji Murade, your TVC News, Akure.
And to Delta State, where Governor Sheriff Oborevwori says, despite the challenges confronting Nigeria, democracy is thriving, especially in this present dispensation of 24 years of uninterrupted democratic government. The governor called for unity and cooperation among all parts of the country, as he expressed hope for a better nation. Governor Oborevwori spoke to journalists on the background of the commemoration of the country's Democracy Day, June 12.
My name is Wale Raji, member House of Reps, representing the Federal constituency of Lagos State.
Absolutely. You saw it firsthand at the Great Chamber. Talk to us about your evaluation of the process.
Well, the whole electoral process was open, transparent, and I believe very credible. I think in the history of the election process for the speakership of the House of Reps, this will probably go down as one of the most transparent and most credible. I mean, nobody could fault the process.
Did you see that coming, Tajuddin Abbas, with 353 votes? Was that something expected from the party?
I wasn't surprised, because Tajuddin Abbas is about the best we could present as Speaker of the House of Reps for the 10th Assembly, taking into consideration the level that Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila has taken the role of the Speaker of the House of Reps to. So we cannot afford to go lower than that. So definitely, if we look at the pedigree of Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, in terms of academics, I mean, he has a PhD. In terms of legislative performance, I mean, he has a record of over 70 bills passed, out of which 21 were assented to. I'm yet to see any legislator since 1999 that has been able to match that.
Honorable Wale Raji, thank you so much for your contribution, and congratulations on your inauguration. Well, we're turning attention to gentlemen of the House of Representatives, honorables who have just been sworn in. Honorable, thank you for joining us this hour. Walk us through your evaluation of the process today that saw the emergence of Tajuddin Abbas as the 10th Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Thank you. See, we belong to a party that follow due process. Along the line, we know this is going to happen. Once our party has spoken, giving us direction where we should go, I know definitely we're going to have a rank-of-free session. And alhamdulillah, I was an aspirant in this race. Because of the party decision, I have to state my aspiration. Because it's beyond an individual. You know, it's supposed to be a collective responsibility of everybody to project the hope that Nigerians are yearning for. So I'm not surprised. It was a rank-of-free. It was so smooth. We've never had this kind of election in a long time in House of Rep. 353 votes. That's a massive one.
Very landmark, Honorable. There are over 180 lawmakers on the other side in the 10th House of Representatives. They call them the Rainbow Coalition. And we probably have seen the first workings together, you know, between the ruling party and the opposition party. Is this some sign of what we should be expecting in the coming days?
Yeah, definitely. You see, people outside don't understand the policies of National Assembly. Once you are elected, you are in this house, the lines will be blurred because we operate as, you know, one house. So I'm not surprised. Members knew their onions and we all took the decision. So the greater majority, the minority, the majority, we all come together. You can see the reflection in the, like APC doesn't have half of the vote we got today. So that is the spirit in the house. We have been maintaining this in the 9th Assembly. We continue the 10th Assembly by the grace of God. If some of us are coming back again, we'll definitely replicate this.
Thank you, Honorable, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right, let's turn to someone else, someone from Bayelsa State who's been also very vocal in the days leading to this election. Only 6 people did not vote for Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. I'm wondering if you were one of them.
Only what?
Only 6 lawmakers did not vote for the Speaker.
Well, of course, that is the essence of democracy.
Indeed.
You don't expect 100% votes sometimes. And you can imagine that for the post of Deputy Speaker, it was unanimous, you know. But for that of Speaker, just 6 people out of 360 people. It's more or less a consensus.
It's considered unprecedented.
Unprecedented.
And we've also seen workings along party lines. What does that mean for the 10th House?
It means that first, the candidate was good to go. And then, of course, members who knew him spoke amongst themselves, considered the possibilities of using him as the right speaker in the 10th Assembly, and then reached out to the new members to ensure that we all work collectively for a peaceful and a successful and a development-oriented 10th Assembly. And I think that's the basis on which this consensus was achieved.
What kind of collaboration should we be looking forward to between this House and the executive?
The collaboration essentially is to ensure that we have the right laws in place. We help the executive to implement the laws that the House is making, and the laws that the executive require for good governance will also be enhanced by this House to ensure that Nigerians have dividends of democracy.
Thank you so much, Honorable, for your contribution. I'm speaking now with yet another Honorable who has been quite vocal. You led the opposition in support of the Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. How do you feel seeing how the voting went today?
I was predicted from beginning because members decided across all political divide, all religious and ethnic divide, that they want a stable and inclusive parliament. And in Tajuddin Abbas and Benjamin Kalu, we were able to find people that can give us that inclusiveness that we want. And not only that, competence, which is very important. 78 bills in 1 year, 21 signed into law, and Carlo 43 and 2 signed into law. And then his ability to reach out to members and his ability to also understand the diversity, that in these differences, our unity is going to be very strong. I can tell you that I feel fulfilled that 54 members decided to vote, which is 354, which is the highest so far in any competitive parliamentary election in Nigeria. That shows the kind of love, and that has laid the foundation for the People's Parliament that Tajuddin Abbas is going to build. A stable parliament that will use the instrument of the parliament in solving critical national problems. I can bet you Nigerians will be so proud that we'll have this crop of leaders.
Very quickly, let's talk about your personal interest in all of this, because you were very vocal on the other side.